England face Panama tomorrow night. Should be an easy win, right? Hello everybody, welcome back to Richmond Rovers. My name is Wes and today we're going to be talking about England's game against Panama tomorrow night, as well as England's progress throughout the knockout stages. Now, one thing I want to focus on are 3 changes that England need to make in order to do well within this tournament. We are one of the favourites for this. I'm not saying we are the favourites, but we definitely are one of them, and we have the squad to back it up. But our performances have been inconsistent. Against Croatia, we were aggressive, we were hunting for blood, and we were making sure that we were scoring goals. But against Ghana, it was the complete opposite. Yeah, they played a low block. Yeah, their defence was fantastic, but we only had 3 shots on target. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm still thinking about the performance against Ghana. It was woeful. It was absolutely wasteful. I mean, 3 shots on target, 19 shots in total, 79% possession. We were dominating the game in terms of every aspect apart from scoring. One thing that we are consistent on at the moment, though, is a shaky defence. That defence is vulnerable. And it's all right, playing against Croatia. Yeah, we won because we were scoring goals. And we played against Ghana, who didn't really have an approach in relation to attacking. They had a couple of chances, but it wasn't necessarily anything to worry about. But if you're playing against a France, an Argentina, a Spain, and we could be facing Mexico in the round of 16, and that will be a huge game for us, a huge test if all goes to plan. But we need to be more aggressive. We need to be more aggressive, and we need to make sure that if we score 1 goal, we need to keep going in for the kill. Score 3, 4 more goals. And yeah, it's all right, if we concede 1 and we've scored 4, then, that's going to be 4-1. It's not the end of the world. I think one thing that also needs to change as well is Marcus Rashford starting. He needs to start instead of Anthony Gordon, because whilst Anthony Gordon again is a moments player, Rashford is the player that we need for pace. We need him for pace, and we need him to create these chances that should be given to Harry Kane on a silver platter. And also start Bukayo Saka, because if he's match fit and make sure he can play for at least 70 minutes, start him instead of Madueke. Of course, he's had the issue with his Achilles, so obviously we have to be aware of that, but apparently Saka is fit. So start him immediately, Tom. Come on. So in terms of 3 changes, the first change that we need to make is that we need to be more aggressive. We need to be more aggressive. We need to be like hounds in the night. We need to make sure that we are scoring goals, creating chances, putting the opponent on the back foot, and having Rashford on the right, Saka on the left, or vice versa, can make that happen for Harry Kane. Second change is the most obvious change. We need to sort out that defence because it is vulnerable. As I say earlier, if we're playing Argentina, we're playing Mexico, if we're playing France, Spain, we are going to be vulnerable, because as soon as our defence is rocky, they will be going in for the kill, and that's not what we want. We want to be the hunter, not the prey. So if we score, don't switch off. Keep going, keep going. It goes back into the previous point of being aggressive. Attack is the best form of defence. One thing that I do need to mention is that Reece James is out, I believe. I believe he had an issue with his hamstring, so that could mean Jed Spence starting on the right, Nico O'Reilly on the left. So we will see what that brings. Reece James is a huge loss. I mean, he might have had a shaky game against Ghana, but he is a leader within the back. And him being a creative right back as well as a defensive rock, it could show weakness within the fullback position. So hopefully Jed Spence and Nico O'Reilly both step up in absence of Reece James. And finally, we just need to be more creative, and we need to break down this low block. Ghana aren't going to be the only team in this tournament to have a low block. It seems like as soon as we come across a team that has a low block, we just shut down. No, we need to break that, and we need to be more aggressive. Our midfield is a strong midfield, and we have a strong attacking lineup, so we can use that to our advantage in order to break the low block down. Perhaps switching the number 9 role instead of Harry Kane just being solely number 9. Do what they did at Bayern Munich. Put Jude Bellingham in as a false 9, and then put Harry Kane in the number 10 position. Just try and weird out the opposition a little bit. Another thing that we can do, especially in the second half, is that we could take off somebody like a Rashford or a Saka if he's not match fit, and instead of bringing on Madueke, bring on Watkins, have 2 strikers up front. Overall, these 3 changes are pretty much one massive change, and that is we just need to be more aggressive against these teams. So what would I do to change the lineup if I would make any changes at all? So I've got right next to me here the BBC Sport website where it says, no, who would you start for England at the World Cup? This will be for the game against Panama on Saturday night. Late kickoff as well, 10 o'clock, Jesus Christ. It's way past my bedtime. So how I would start the England lineup against Panama, it would have been a case if we would have finished top of the group that we would have started a different team here. We'd have had a few regulars within the starting lineup, but we would have had different players within each position. However, we have got to be winning this group in order to make sure we have the easier run of things. So who would I have in the starting lineup? Pickford, easily, he's the #1 keeper. He picks himself. If we would have won the group, I would have started either Henderson or Trafford, preferably Trafford, but Pickford, #1, easy. Right back, because Reece James is injured, has to be Jed Spence. Centre backs, keep them unchanged. So Konsa and Gahey, they have to be a consistent partnership as we go through into the tournament further on. O'Reilly has to start at left back just because he is the only left back we've got now, especially that Jed Spence is going into the right. Midfield picks themselves. Rice and Anderson, easy peasy. Also, I think Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson have had a great tournament so far for England. What do you think about that? Up top, skipper, easy peasy. Harry Kane. He needs to be scoring goals and scoring goals for fun. Last time we played against Panama was in the 2018 World Cup and Harry Kane got a hat-trick. So let's keep chasing the Mbappes and the Messis and the Haalands. Keep chasing that and make us a presence within the tournament. Number 10, Jude. I mean, he is fantastic. He is our number 10. And I know he got a little bit of slack in relation to the starting of the tournament, whether or not we should have started Rodgers or Eze or Bellingham. Bellingham has to start. He has to start, and because he is one of our star men within the tournament. On the left, easily pick Rashford. Rashford over Gordon. I think Gordon hasn't had a good tournament so far. Rashford is a creative player. Seems like every time that we get the ball to him, there is a chance in waiting. So Marcus Rashford for me on the left, and on the right, if he is match fit, we have to start Bukayo Saka, because just like Rashford, whenever he has come on within this tournament, he has had an impact within the squad. You know, he assisted Marcus Rashford in the first game. He nearly scored against Ghana in the second game. So we need to start Saka. That would be the starting lineup for me against Panama. What do you think? Who would you start? Would you leave a couple of players out within this lineup? You know, bring on a Kobbie Mainoo instead of Bellingham if you want to give him minutes. Start Eze, put Harry Kane on the bench. Who knows? That would be outlandish. Comment below, let me know. What changes would you make for England in this World Cup? Do you agree with me, or do you think that England are playing well at the moment? Comment below, let me know. Thank you so much for watching Richmond Rovers. I'm not going to be doing a live stream for the England versus Panama game simply because we're already through to the knockout stages. I don't know if I'm going to be watching the whole game anyway because I've got a morning shift, but I will be doing every England game live stream from the knockout stages all the way to the final, because we're going to get to the final. Come on. Thank you so much for watching Richmond Rovers. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Thank you so much for all the success within the shorts as well. I really do appreciate it. Comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers everybody, take care.